What's good, world? It's your boy King Mike coming at you live and direct with a video, man. And what I want to do in this video is I want to talk about this problem that AEW has. And to me, I think it's the biggest problem that AEW has. And very, very few people want to touch on it, but we're going to talk about it tonight in this video, man. You know, you look at AEW's ratings, and I think it's quite funny how all this rating talk has kind of like died down a little bit ever since AEW's been in the mud, you know. But you look at their declining ratings, and they just keep getting lower and lower and lower and lower, and every now and then they'll pop their head up just a little bit, but then they just keep sinking down, down, down. And the crazy thing is, even when they pop their head up, they're not really getting to a point where they can breathe fresh air. It's like if they're drowning and they're just sinking, 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 but then they kind of swim up a little bit. They haven't got to air. They're still in the water, right? So you look at these declining ratings and you wonder why. You wonder why. Is it the dirt sheets, being biased, and people are like, man, I don't really want to watch this AEW stuff, man, because every time I think something is trash, I go on Twitter expecting people to be like, yeah, man, that stuff was trash too, yada, yada, yada. But you see like 85% of the people praising this crap, and the people who are really praising it are like blue check marks. So then you think, hey, man, these people must be on the payroll, man, because this shit is trash. Like, you can't get around it. It sucks. And if you say it doesn't suck, then either you don't know what cool is, or you're just lying, But that's not the problem. That's a problem, but that's not the main problem. Maybe it's the wrestlers, maybe they're just not good enough to, draw in an audience. And that's not true, because AEW has one of the best rosters in wrestling. Like, I don't like the product. I hate the product. I hate what they're doing on AEW television. I can't stand it. But if I sat here and told you that isn't a talented roster, I would be lying to you. And I'm not fightful. I'm not going to lie to you. You know what I mean? AEW has one of the most talented rosters in wrestling, period. The problem is Tony Khan doesn't know what he's doing. That's the problem. Point blank, period. There's no bigger problem than that. Tony Khan is not a booker. Tony Khan is a geek with a lot of money. There's a difference. He shouldn't be in charge of putting together these shows, right? His say shouldn't be the final say, and I know that sucks to say, because if I was in Tony Khan's shoes, right, I would want to book my show. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would want to book my show, right? You know what I'm saying? The way I want to book it is the way I'm gonna book it, right? The problem is he doesn't know how to book. He can't. His booking doesn't bring in a strong enough audience to support the TV contracts that he's getting, right? TNT's cutting a lot of money. TBS is finna cut a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And they're not getting back what they put out for AEW. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting a return on their investment. Look, this is the problem with the AEW cult. They think that TBS and TNT just gave Tony Khan this money. Like, oh, we want AEW so bad. Here, we'll pay you $147 million just to have your TV show. Oh, we don't care what you do in the ratings. We don't care. We just want you on our station. See, that's a problem, man, because these cult members, they put AEW on this pedestal like AEW is just the greatest thing ever, and it's so not. It's nowhere close to it. And you have to start being honest. Like, people have to start telling Tony Khan he's not it. People think that Tony Khan is the savior, and the reason why I think a lot of people think that is because, like, a lot of people hate WWE more than they love AEW, right? They don't give a crap about AEW as much as they care about WWE, because if that was the case, then AEW wouldn't have to constantly take shots at WWE. They wouldn't have to constantly bring up WWE. They wouldn't have to constantly light their torch on AEW's, my bad. AEW wouldn't have to constantly light their torch on WWE's flame. You know what I mean? If AEW could stand on their own merits, then they would. The problem is they can't. So that tells me that a lot of people hate WWE more than they love AEW. So I think that they're not even paying attention to these shows. They're not paying attention to what's on their TV. You know, they don't care about the show. They just like being a part of the community. That's why I call them a cult, because they don't care what's being preached to them. They don't care what's being embedded in their brains. They just want to be at the party. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't been to an AEW show. I haven't been, but I heard the environment is like basically like a college party. You know what I'm saying? Like you got. I seen Full Gear though. I watched Full Gear, man, and to me, that audience looked like a big ass sausage fest. It was hard to spot a woman. It was hard to spot a woman. As many times as they went to the audience, I was looking. I was like, where are the women? Where are the women? It was hard. They had maybe like 2 or 3 women in the front row. You know what I'm saying? But they looked like they just came with their boyfriends. They didn't look like they was there to enjoy the show. And here's a rule that some people should probably take to heart. Wherever the women are, that's what's cool. Wherever the women are, that's what's cool, man. That's what's gonna sell because of this. Men are gonna chase women, right? So if you could draw the women in, you're gonna bring in the guys, right? So maybe you should try to appeal more to your women fan base than your smart mark fan base. You know what I mean? And this is where I say Tony Khan can't book, because being a booker, it's more than just saying, okay, I'm gonna put Orange Cassidy against Adam Cole. Why? Why would you do that? Then you got to think about the dynamics of it. Okay, if I put, because the AEW fan base, you have to understand, if you're looking at it like this, let's just say you can hold the AEW. Let me see if I can get this camera. Let's say you could hold the AEW fan base in your hand, right? And the AEW fan base could fit in your hand. That's the AEW fan base, but everything around it is the wrestling community, right? The AEW fan base is so small that you're not gonna survive doing what you're doing. So the AEW fan base, they may love Orange Cassidy, but the rest of the community hates Orange Cassidy. So if you put them in a match with somebody that the rest of the community loves in Adam Cole, because Adam Cole is going through all this goofy shit, he's doing all this stupid shit, but people still have faith in him. People love Adam Cole, right? But you put him in this match with Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy embarrasses him, basically giving him a wrestling lesson. What should have happened was Adam Cole should have just kicked Orange Cassidy's ass. The other dude, Willem Yeamer, or whatever his name is, Willer Yeamer, or whoever the fuck his name is, man, he should have been more of the dude to handle the heavy hitting. See, this is why I say Tony Khan can't book, because he's trying to turn Orange Cassidy into a superstar, and Orange Cassidy's ceiling is the TNT Championship. You have to be able to understand and know your wrestlers' limits, know their strengths, know their weaknesses, know how your audience and outside audience will connect with this character. You have to know all of that. You have to know how he's going to match up with his opponent, and then you have to know what story are you going into. What story are you trying to tell? You know what I'm saying? People say AEW does long-term story booking. I think AEW just be falling into shit. And the reason why a lot of people think it's long-term storytelling is because it's the same storytelling. You know, they've ran this story with Team Taz for ever since AEW started, right? Somebody come into the company, they got to run into Team Taz, right? a hot up and comer like Dante Martin, Team Taz is trying to sign him. That's Team Taz. They've been running the same angle. A Darby Allin, MJF hasn't really ascended to where he needs to be. MJF should be your world champion, but they keep on holding these things back. Why? Why are you holding these things back? I mean, I was on Twitter and I was like, yeah, that MJF and CM Punk promo was cool, man, but MJF is wasting his time with CM Punk. Why is he fighting CM Punk now? If MJF was the AEW World Champion, right, and MJF was going on this tear, and CM Punk was steady climbing up the ranks, when CM Punk versus MJF would have faced off for the AEW Championship, with the AEW Championship in the picture, that would have been a bigger moment than what we're having now. What we're having now is just basically, it's going to be a throwaway moment. It was cool, but what is it going to lead to? It's going to lead to a fight, and then that's going to be it. It's going to be non-memorable. But if MJF was the champion and CM Punk was challenging for the championship, we might have something. And speaking of the championship, you have a number one contender in Daniel Bryan. He went through a whole tournament. Bryan Danielson, I put some respect on his name. He went through a whole tournament, right? Won the thing. And now he has to go through a whole list of Dark Order members in order to get his title shot. Why isn't he more upset about that? No, if we talking kayfabe, I'll be pissed. I'll be like, why do we have to go through all this? You know what I'm saying? And this is another reason why I say Tony Khan can't book, because Daniel Bryan is acting like he's the champion trying to avoid the challenger. It's backwards. Daniel Bryan should be like, let's do this right now. I want my title shot. I won the tournament. Let's go. And Adam Page should be like, I would, but I just won this thing, man. Maybe you should fight John Silver first, and just throw it out there like that, But what are they doing? They don't know. It doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? But I think a lot more people need to call this dude out about this, man, because that's the major problem with AEW. The major problem with AEW is Tony Khan can't book. It's so simple, man. I hear people trying to fix AEW. They're like, yeah, maybe they should move nights, or maybe they should do this, or maybe they need a new booker. You ever think of that shit? Or maybe they need to stop thinking everything is hating and start to take some of this criticism into consideration. You know what I mean? Because everything isn't hating. Sometimes people are telling you the God honest truth, man. Somebody could walk up to you and they could be like, oh man, your breath stink, bro. Here, take a mint. And you're like, man, my breath don't stink, yada, yada, yada. And you don't take that into consideration, and then you run into this bad bitch, and she doesn't tell you your breath stinks. She just stopped talking to you. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what's going on with AEW. A lot of people are telling AEW, hey man, your product is trash. Your product is trash. And they're like, man, my product ain't trash. And then when cool people actually watch their product, they're like, man, this shit trash, bro. I ain't watching this shit no more, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would I watch this? This is trash. But they don't go on Twitter and start telling AEW that. So AEW doesn't know. They just lose viewers. You know what I'm saying? You got to do better. You got to do better. Tony Khan, stop listening to old people like Jim Cornette and Eric Bischoff and all this stuff, man, even though they've been through it and they know what they're doing to an extent. This is a whole new millennium. This is a whole new world. They don't understand this world. They don't understand it all. You want to start a revolution, you need to hire some new blood. You need to hire some new people. No Salad Monster, no JD from New York. Them niggas don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You need to hire some no-name people like your boy. You know what I'm saying? I could take your company from the mud to heaven. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about killing it off. I'm talking about heaven on earth. You need to hire your boy, man. The email's in my Twitter, @KingMike307, man. Because I'm telling you straight up, and this is the God honest truth, man. If you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to be canceled. You're going to be canceled because if you're thinking about it from a boss's standpoint, right? I'm TNT, I'm TBS, right? I got this wrestling show on my Wednesday night blocks, on my Friday night blocks. You know what I'm saying? That isn't really generating anything. But let's say if it's Friday night and there's a baseball game on, or it's Friday night and there's a basketball game on, and I can get 3 million viewers for that, why would I want AEW around? Why would I want AEW blocking that? And then you have this nerd like Tony Khan saying things like, we have a contract to be in this spot. It's like, why would I want that problem? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're doing like 800,000. This show is gonna do 300 million. I need you to move. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be better on my part just to say, why would I keep this? Why would I keep this around? You know what I'm saying? It's doing nothing. It may. I'm not really making a return on my investment. You know what I'm saying? Why am I keeping this show around? Because despite on what these AEW cult members, these biased dirt sheet people who every time a WWE star is released, they want to cry a river for these people. This is business, not charity. The point of business is to make money. And if you're not making money, then you have to cut your ties before you lose your neck. It's simple. It's simple, man. But a lot of these people don't understand that because they're simple-minded. They're so simple-minded that they can't understand the simplest of simple things, man. But we're going to see what's going to play out in the future, man. You know, I really don't know, man. I'm kind of torn in between, man. I don't think AEW is going to turn around. I think they're going to get canceled. But in the same breath, I don't think Shad Khan is going to let that happen. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Shad Khan is going to let his son fail like that. You know, I think before it gets to a point where AEW is about to be canceled, I think that Shad Khan will come in and basically just take over. You know what I'm saying? And say like, okay, we're gonna move some things around. I'm not gonna completely embarrass you, Tony, but we got to make this into a profitable business, right? But we'll see what happens, man. We'll see what happens. It's your boy King Mike 307 signing out. Follow your boy on the Twitter at King Mike 307. If you came this far, leave a like on the video, you know, because obviously you liked it. Subscribe to the channel, man. Join the nation. Let's grow this thing. And if you want to talk about anything that I said in this video or anything that's going on in your world, you can leave me a comment below and I'll get back at you, all right? Peace.